YugiNoNo.
Alright, Yugi Bros, today we are going to be counting down my picks for the top 10 best and most powerful trap cards ever made. Similar to the top 10 spells video, this countdown is going to be going over generic traps and not any archetype specific traps. So sorry Yang Zing fans, your trap card is good, but so is Black Sonic, and we all know how Blackwing players are.
Blackwings will rise again. They will rise above table 500. They will make it all the way to table 499 if we just believe.
I am also not going to include Artifact Sanctum, even though it is splashable because of it belonging to the artifact archetype. I took several factors into account while making this list. Main deck ability, length of play, and of course, sheer power. Trap cards are some of the most powerful cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And there are many on the ban list and have been there for years. So be expecting a lot of those cards to make an appearance on this list. Also, I must say that this might be the hardest list that I have made to date. And that is because of how close a lot of these traps are in power. Making this list really made me remember why these cards were banned in the first place. And one last thing really quick guys, before I get into this countdown, I have to give a shout out to Raglan, which is actually Sam's band, and some of you guys have been wondering where Sam has been. Sam has been really busy with music, and if you guys did not know, I actually filmed some of their live shows and music videos on the side on top of doing YouTube videos. They make amazing music guys, be sure to check them out. I will have their YouTube channel and their Facebook page pinned down in the comment section. But now with all of that said, let's go ahead and get into this countdown. At the number 10 spot, we have Solemn Strike. This is one of the newest cards to come out that is on this list. This card is a breakthrough skill mixed with a Black Horn of Heaven. You pay 1500 life points to negate a monster effect anywhere, or negate the inherent summon of a monster or monsters if you negate a pendulum summon. Even though Solemn Strike hasn't been around long, it has definitely made an impact on the game, becoming the main counter trap of choice in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that's what back row players needed, was more negates.
Have you ever played against counter fairies?
At number 9, we have Torrential Tribute. This card has been played in Yu-Gi-Oh! Since it came out way back in Labyrinth of Nightmare. Its effect says when a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field, which effectively makes this a defensive dark hole. Torrential Tribute is a legendary card in Yu-Gi-Oh! And has been feared for years. Torrential still sees play to this day depending on the deck and format, which is actually amazing considering just how old this card is.
I remember when Torrential came out like it was yesterday.
At number 8, we have the newest card on this countdown, Dimensional Barrier. This card hasn't been around long, but immediately proved itself to be one of the most powerful floodgate cards of all time. This card states declare one monster type, Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Pendulum. For the rest of this turn, neither player can special summon monsters of the declared type. Also negate the effects of all monsters of that type while they are on the field. So no matter what deck you are playing, this card is sure to be an annoyance.
This hand's kinda bad. I'm just gonna set one and pass, but what were you playing again? Fluffles? No, I meant, Pendulum Magicians. No, I meant Crystons. No, I meant, just make it quick.
Plus the fact that D-Barrier is a normal chainable trap can make it even more brutal to deal with than other floodgates that are continuous. At the number 7 spot, we have the legendary Mirror Force. Mirror Force, despite what Yugi thinks it does,
my life points are devastated!
Destroys all attack position monsters on your opponent's side of the field when an attack is declared. Let's be real though, okay? Mirror Force is the reason why we all have trust issues.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm finally gonna win one. I just need one more monster and I'll have enough damage on board. Normal summon, enter battle phase, attack for game. Mirror Force, I will never trust anyone or anything ever again.
Mirror Force is on the countdown because of how it could change the course of games for years in Yu-Gi-Oh! And although it has been replaced by better incarnations of itself in more recent years, it has still left its mark in the hearts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players everywhere. For number 6, we have Royal Oppression. MCole40 can go on about this card, let me tell you. This effect states either player can pay 800 life points to negate the special summon of a monster and or an effect that special summons a monster and destroy those cards. So in other words, if you have this card face up with a Thunder King Ryo on the board in Teledad format, you basically won that game. Dad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when I'm flipped on you? Royal Oppression is just one of those cards that is way too powerful and will be banned for a long time. At number 5, we have Imperial Order. Even with the errata that this card has had, it is still extremely powerful. It negates all spell effects on the field. Like seriously, what more can you ask for? There are so many decks filled with spell cards that just lose to this trap.
I think I'll go first this time. What are you playing? Heroes?
Imperial Order may be back for now, but if other floodgates have taught us anything, it's that just because a card is at 1 doesn't mean that it can't win you games. At number 4, we have the mighty Skill Drain. This card negates the effects of all monsters on the field by just paying 1,000 life points. This card was not only at 3 for a very long time in Yu-Gi-Oh, but was also an anti-meta card of choice for just as long. Konami even took the idea from the fan-made Beast King Malefic Drain deck and created Cleefort from it. I'm not trying to go full conspiracy mode here, but I'm 99% sure that that's exactly what they did when they came up with the idea for Cleave. Because making an archetype that benefits from one of the best floodgates of all time is a great idea, right?
Hey, Bill, just the man I wanted to see. I was thinking we should probably make a really degenerate deck with the most annoying search card of all time. Oh yeah, absolutely. The players will love that.
As monster effects have become more and more prevalent and powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh, Skill Drain has been there to stop them. At the number 3 spot, we have Solemn Warning. I had to put Solemn Warning this high on the countdown because of its amazing ability to stop both inherent summons and cards that would summon. In other words, this card can stop anything from an entire pendulum summon to polymerization. Solemn Warning is just one of those few trap cards in history that will be splashed in at 1 in a deck just because of how clutch it can be, even just at 1. Paying 2,000 life points to stop any summon is amazing, and this card at 1 is completely justified. I mean, cause think about it, if we had 3 strikes and 3 warnings, how would we ever summon anything?
From my graveyard, I will top deck to summon strike. Okay, then from my hand, I'll special summon strike again. Fine, then I will normal summon and warning.
At number 2, we have Vanity's Emptiness. This card is so extremely powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's almost unreal. Almost every single deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Special summons and special summons a lot at that. So being able to set up a board, flip Vanities, and then stop all special summons was just a blowout. We had this card at 3 in Duelist Alliance format, and it was absolutely painful.
That is a good board, but my hand is pretty good. I think I'll activate Shaddoll Fuse. Vanities, this is Mirror Force all over again.
Even when Vanities was put to 1, it still had so much appeal as a clutch game winner that players would still main it similar to Solemn Warning, or players would main both. Vanity's Emptiness is just that good of a card and is debatably the most powerful floodgate of all time. I mean, really, who thought that Vanity's Fiend as a trap card was a good idea?
Oh, that? No, that was all Bill. I had nothing to do with that one. Oh, yeah, that was totally me. That was my bad.
Like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, this list was way hard to make because of the sheer number of powerful trap cards that we have had over the years. So since we have been spoiled with so many good trap cards, there are going to be a lot of honorable mentions. Anti-Spell Fragrance, because of its ability to slow down decks, and of course Floodgate Pendulums. Compulsory Evacuation Device, because this classic staple was killer against extra deck monsters. Bottomless Trap Hole, because even before Rafflesia, this trap was awesome. Ultimate Offering, because who doesn't like more normal summons, right? Time Seal, because your opponent doesn't need to draw. Sixth Sense, because why not design something this ridiculous while Dragon Rulers are running around. Trap Dust Shoots, because seeing your opponent's hand and removing a monster is busted. Macro Cosmos, because it is another great floodgate and anti-meta card. Return from the Different Dimension, because apparently some Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks just need a win button. All of the Virus cards, because I mean, just read them, they're all broken in their own way. And Ring of Destruction, because before the errata, this card was Gaga Cowboy before Cowboy. Now, there are plenty more traps out there that could have been considered honorable mentions, but I'll just leave that to you guys down in the comment section. There was a lot of other cards that I had to consider for sure. And for the number 1 spot, we have a card that every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Had to play for as long as it was legal. A card that seriously made you consider what to negate and win. A card that literally always makes you pay half of your life points. Of course, I am talking about Solemn Judgment. In my opinion, this is the most powerful trap card of all time. It is a counter trap spell speed 3 that negates basically anything. And it is always live because you pay half of your life points to activate it. Back in the day, long before we had the more fair card Solemn Scolding, if you had 100 life points left, you could have negated a monster reborn, for example, and had 50 life points left. In other words, you just negated debatably the most powerful spell card in Yu-Gi-Oh! By paying just 50 life points. That is how powerful Solemn Judgment is. Negates any spell, trap, or inherent summon at any time, anywhere. I hope that you enjoyed this countdown, guys. These take a long time to make, especially this one where the choices were so hard and there was There's just so much to take into account. If you want more videos like this one, then be sure to support me on Patreon or leave me a tip on PayPal. The links to both of those are down in the description. Also, be sure to check out my custom line of MetaMats cloth playmats. The links to those are also down in the description. Proceeds from mat purchases also go towards helping the channel. But go ahead and let me know what your favorite trap cards are down in the comment section. And as always, be sure to dick slap that like button and subscribe.
Subscribe.